This is a story that we talked about first back in November of 2017, then again in December of 2017. It's about a British man called Jagtar Singh Johal, or Jaggi as he's known. He has been now in prison in India without trial for 1,000 days. He is accused by the Indian government of being involved in the killing of a right-wing Hindu leader in India. Now, campaigners say he's the victim of political persecution because he's a Sikh and has been tortured while in prison. Jaggi's brother, Gurpreet Singh Johal, I spoke to before and was with us now, and also Jaggi's local MP in West Dunbartonshire is the SNP's Martin Docherty-Hughes. Martin and Gurpreet, welcome to the show. Welcome back to the show, I should say. Gurpreet, for those people who don't know, tell us exactly what happened to Jaggi. He was in India for a wedding, wasn't he?
So Jagtar had travelled. First of all, Nihal, thanks for having us on to let us raise Jagtar's plight. Jagtar travelled to India to get married in October 2017. He got married on the 18th of October, and on the 4th of November, he was abducted whilst out shopping with his wife. So you can just imagine his newly wedded wife seeing him taken away by 15 guys hooded into an unmarked vehicle. From then, he has advised his lawyers, he's advised the British government that he's been subjected to third-degree torture and mistreatment. He's been subjected to a trial by media, and he's been denied an independent medical examination. Whilst the UK government promised to give extreme action if a British national had been tortured, to date we've not seen that extreme action. We're now into 1,000 days of his detention, and he's yet to be formally charged on the allegations alleged against him. You mentioned one murder. The Indian government are claiming that he was involved in 8 murders. To date, he has not been formally charged on any of those allegations. So it was just for a clarity, so what's going on? The UK government have basically been frustrating the family in respect of protecting a British citizen. We need to look beyond the point that he's not just a Sikh, he's a British national, born and bred in Scotland, and he has basic human rights that have been violated on an international level by a so-called democratic country. And the UK government are just sitting and watching what's going on. So it's embarrassing that the UK government have failed to protect its citizen, and Jagtar is 1,000 days on, no further against the accusations against him. He's not had the right to a fair trial. In essence, his cases hasn't even moved from when the first charge sheet was presented in May 2018.
It does seem rather strange that someone accused of being involved in so many crimes, Gurpreet, would actually go back to the country that has accused him of being involved in these crimes to get married. How long has it been since you have managed to speak to your brother Jagtar?
So now, first of all, Jagtar hadn't travelled to India since her mother passed away in 2007. He then travelled in April 2017, stayed there for 5 to 6 weeks, and he came back to the UK. He then travelled for his wedding. So if he was, as what the Indian government was saying, they issued him a visa in 2020. They allowed him entry into the country in April 2017, allowed him to exit the country and re-enter in October 2017. So the claims that they've made to date have moved from pillar to post, whereas the position that we've had as a family and the MP, which has been that there has been no openness, no due process, and no transparency. We're still at that point. We believe in the land of the law, and however, 1,000 days on, I didn't think I would be sitting here talking about my brother's detention 1,000 days on. And he's a British national whose rights have been abused. And this can happen to anyone, yes. Whether he's a Sikh or not. It could happen to you, Nihal. It could happen to one of your colleagues who might be named John or Ronald.
Well, sorry to interrupt you, but I do want to bring the Jagtar and your local MP in from West Dunbartonshire, Martin Docherty-Hughes. So, Gurpreet, wait one moment, please, my friend. Martin, good afternoon.
Hello, Nihal.
Why does the British public not know about this 1,000 days on? And what is being done by the Foreign Office to secure some more information about Jagtar?
We know we live in what has been since the last 1,000 days, quite extraordinary events, both globally and also across Europe and across the UK. It's been very close to not only my heart, but of course the family, the community in West Dunbartonshire, very much aware of the plight of Jagtar, a young guy from Dumbarton who goes to get married and gets, from my perspective, under the Indian constitution, illegally detained by the Indian state. And why is there not? Well, I have to say to you, there is a lot of awareness about it in Scotland. There's newspapers who run with it here. The National, the Scotsman have both ran with it on various occasions. Our local papers in West Dunbartonshire, the Dumbarton Reporter, the Lennox Herald. And, we have discussed it briefly with the media in London, but we've never really been able to get them to grasp the fact that a young guy who is a UK national was arbitrarily abducted against the Indian constitution by one of our closest allies. And I've been very consistent over that 1,000 days that, we've got to a point where Jagtar has now seen 3 British Prime Ministers, 4 Foreign Secretaries, 3 Under-Secretaries. 2 of them, I have to say, have been sacked. And we now have a position where we have an Under-Secretary who's not even a member of the House of Commons, who I can't ask questions at the dispatch box because they're a member of the unelected House of Lords. So as to your question, I'm hoping by listening to your interview, by watching the webinar that we held today with people across the world and also here in the UK, that the rest of the media, especially those based in London, will recognise the dreadful situation in which a young UK national finds himself. And that's what we're hoping through this interview and also other things that we're doing across the rest of today to commemorate the 1,000 days.
Gurpreet, unfortunately, we only have a minute left, but can you tell me what effect this is having, not only, of course, on your brother, who's spent now 1,000 days incarcerated in India without trial, but your family?
Well, it's been 1,000 days since we've seen Jagtar, and with COVID, we've seen people complaining that they've not been able to see their family members for months due to shielding, etc. So you can just feel how it feels for us. It's a living nightmare that we go through every single day. And we're not only let down by the Indian authorities with the ongoing process in India, we're also let down by the UK government. And the request to your listeners as well is please look beyond Jagtar as being a brown man. He is a British national, born and bred in Scotland, and he has all the rights that you have, and this could happen to you.
We've run out of time. Yes. Gurpreet Singh Johal, thank you. And also to the SMP's Martin Docherty-Hughes, thank you to you as well.